आइए, please.
Thank you, sir.
Are you prepared?
Yes, sir.
Feel comfortable and introduce yourself to all of us.
Sir, my name is Tariq. I'm from Islamabad. I did electrical engineering from UT Lahore. Thereafter, I worked in a company that is Tetra Pak, and it is Lahore based. So, meanwhile, I prepared for the CSS exam in 2020 and appeared in that same exam. So, it was in CSS 2020 exam that I got allocation in ML&C department. And currently, I am posted in Lahore Cantonment Board and working there since December 2022.
So you are currently posted as cantonment
Yes, sir, in Lahore Cantonment Board as Deputy CEO.
deputy CEO. So this was your badge of
So 49 CTP, sir.
49.
Yes, sir.
You are not happy with the cantonment all services?
Sir, undoubtedly it is a very good group and provides a lot of opportunities for growth and excelling in the career. But what I think is that, what I find missing in the ML&C department or in a group as a whole is, sir, its scope is very limited. Sir, its scope is limited in the cantonment areas only. And if I talk about the cantonments, there are 41 cantonments. So, sir, this is the limitation of the scope that is there in the ML&C department, while in other departments or in other groups, for example, PAS or for that matter, police as well, so the scope of the work is larger as compared to what the ML&C offers. So, sir, this is the main and the foremost reason, sir.
What is the status of local governments in the cantonment areas?
Sir, the status of local government in the cantonment areas is such that depending on the classification of the cantonments, and there are three types of cantonments, there are different number of members that are directly elected from within the wards that are there in the cantonment areas. For instance, if the population of any cantonment is above 1 lakh, then it would be classified as class 1 and there would be 10 members that are directly elected. Sir, the thing is that there are equal number of nominated or official members as well. So if there are 10 members who are elected, then there would be 10 equal number of official members, and one would be the PCB or the president of the cantonment board, who is the ex officio station commander of that cantonment, sir.
Fully trained civil servant you are.
Sir.
So how you define the role of a civil servant in the society? What is your understanding?
Sir, as far as the role of civil servant in the society is concerned, he is more like implementing the policies that have been designed or framed by the policymakers. So, for instance, in our case, since it is a parliamentary democracy and it is the legislators who frame different policies. So, sir, it is the work of the executive and the civil servants who are there to implement those societies for the better governance, for the betterment of the people. So in case of Pakistan, if we see that the Human Development Index ranking is 161 out of 192 countries, so civil servants are at the center, are at the helm of the affairs who are there to improve the governance so that the living standard of the people within the country increases, sir. So, sir, this is what I think about the role of the civil servants within the society, sir.
The role of a civil servant, especially vis-a-vis public. How many times you meet people in your office?
So there is a continuous meeting with the people because it is a kind of a public office. For instance, sir, there are the issues that are related to the taxation. Then there are the mutation, land transfer issues. Then there are the registration of birth and death certificates, removing encroachments. So, sir, it is a continuous process, and I meet roughly 20 people per day in my office, sir.
Welcome to CSP's Academy for CSS PMS preparation. CSS PMS तहरीरी इम्तिहान के तमाम मज़ामीन की ऑनलाइन और ऑन कैंपस तैयारी के साथ साथ सब्जेक्ट सिलेक्शन, असाइनमेंट चेकिंग, क्लास टेस्ट, मॉक एग्जाम, इंडिविजुअल टीचर डिस्कशन और फीडबैक सेशन का इनकाद किया जाएगा। इसके अलावा FPSC की तजवीज़ करदा बुक्स से बने मयारी नोट्स और CSPs पब्लिशर की बेहतरीन बुक्स मुहैया की जाएंगी। रजिस्टर नाउ एट 0316 570-1593.
Currently, the Pakistan economy is facing certain economic challenges. Can you identify what challenges are most important in your view?
Sir, in this regard, I would love to highlight 5 major causes that are there at the base of the economic problems of Pakistan. So the first one is the widening current account deficit, of which the trade deficit is a major part. The second one is the low tax to GDP ratio, which in our case stands at around 8.6% of the total GDP. So then there is the circular debt galore, which keeps on expanding or ballooning with the passage of time. So currently it stands at 2.4 trillion rupees, while our total budget outlay is 9.579 trillion rupees. And so lastly, I think there are the needs of reforms in the power sector or the energy sector as a whole. So, sir, I think these are the major issues that are there that plague the economy of Pakistan.
If I ask a common man on the street, okay, what are the economic issues he is facing, what do you think? What he will reply?
Sir, the prompt and the instant reply would be the soaring inflation. Sir, the CPI or the Consumer Price Index for the month of March stood at 35.
Inflation
Yes, sir.
is one. If you go into the market, depreciation in the currency is two.
Yes, sir.
Rising oil prices, energy prices. I mean, that is the point of view the public
Yes, sir.
they are facing. So these are the current issues. In fact,
Sir.
Apuchu, sir.
What IPCC stands for?
Sir, IPCC is an acronym for International Panel for the Climate Change.
Intergovernmental.
Right, sir. So, Intergovernmental Panel for the Climate Change. Sir, it is a body that works under UNEP and in close consonance or in close collaboration with the World Economic Forum and the United Nations. So this is the body that releases IPCC report, a quarterly report and the yearly reports every year.
What is the latest report? 2-3 days back, it has released its annual report on the issue of global warming. What is that?
Sir, according to the latest IPCC report, the concentration of the greenhouse gas emissions would rise by 50% till 2050. And at that time, the concentration of GHGs in the atmosphere would stand at 668 parts per million. Moreover, it also states that by the end of this century, there would be a rise of sea levels, and that would be around 1 and 1.5 feet. So, sir, these are the major takeaways in that report, sir.
How will you differentiate between rule of law and rule by law?
Sir, these are the terms that have a considerable difference between themselves. Sir, as far as the rule of law is concerned, it is defined as, or it refers to the prevalence of the rule or prevalence of the law, regulation and rules within the society, so that there is a law and order within the society, so that the society is organized and the people live freely. On the other hand, rule by law is a term that refers to the state when the government functionaries or the executives use laws for their own purposes, for maintaining or forwarding their own purposes. So, for example, in case of Pakistan, if I talk about the NAB laws, so different governments use the NAB organization for their own purposes. So sir, NAB, which was initially instituted under the NAB Ordinance of 1999, it has the main purpose of combating the corruption within the country. But the politicians sometimes use this organization for their own purposes. So this is.
So coming to NAB then, has NAB been able to realize its goals and objectives?
Sir, if I talk about the NAB ordinance under which the NAB was constituted, sir, there are two things. So the first one is the voluntary return, and then there is the term that is the plea bargain. Sir, these are the unique terms. So, for example, when there has been an embezzlement or corruption within any organization or any department, then the money that has been looted would be returned with the help of the NAB. So the main objective was a good one. However, there are certain for sometimes it has been used by the politicians for their own gains. So, sir, if I talk about ideally, as per the NAB ordinance, this is a good organization. And as far as the recovery that has been completed by NAB, then according to the NAB report, it has recovered 400 billion rupees.
Can you give 2-3 reasons about its almost failure? It has not been able to perform in the best possible manner.
Yes, sir.
It has almost failed.
Yes, sir.
in its job.
Yes, sir.
What reasons can you give in this regard?
Sir, there are 2 to 3 reasons that I would give in this regard. Sir, the first one is that, sir, the chairman NAB, who was initially thought to be an independent person and who was to report to the president of Pakistan, has now been made reportee to the prime minister. So there is a direct intrusion or interference of the government within the NAB organization. So, sir, I think this is the major role, that why the corruption watchdog that was initially perceived to be an independent body, or that was to work without any burden, has come under the executive part.
Okay, finally, what are the dilemmas of our taxation system?
Sir, there are 4 to 5 main reasons why the tax to GDP ratio of the country remains abysmally low at 8.6% of the entire GDP. Sir, the first one is the informal economy. Sir, according to the World Bank report, the informal economy's size in case of Pakistan is roughly equal to the formal economy, which stands at around $383 billion as per the fiscal year 2022. So, sir, this is one of the reasons why the tax to GDP ratio or the tax collection remains low. So, the second one is that the indirect taxes are higher in case of Pakistan, and this places uncertain or unjustified burden on the poor people. So, and so thirdly, there are many areas in which the tax evasion becomes easier. So, for instance, in recently there have been amendments in the Anti-Money Laundering and the Financial Terrorism Act, which has controlled to a larger extent the money laundering processes or the money laundering activities in the country. So, sir, these are the, I think, main
Okay, and
issues.
finally, what is the length and breadth of a badminton court? You play badminton?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm sorry, sir, I do not know the answer.
Join CSPs, where we believe that your dreams are our mission. So let us be your partners in this transformative journey as we equip you with knowledge, confidence, and resilience required to emerge as CSS toppers. Contact us on our given WhatsApp number 0316 570 1593 or visit our website www.csps.com.pk.
Anand, Tariq, you have studied electrical engineering. Have you been able to use it in all these years after graduation?
Ma'am, when I worked in the Tetra Pak prior to joining the civil services, there was the use of electrical engineering, especially the automation part, because in the industrial sector, there are motors, VFDs, sensors, and all these things. So that part pertained to the degree that I had, and that was the electrical engineering degree, sir. But the greater relevance was not there. Why? Because what we are taught in the universities is completely different from what the industry demands. So there is a mismatch between these two sectors, ma'am.
And your favorite personality? You have said founder of Khan Academy.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the Bollywood Salman Khan?
No, ma'am. He is a graduate of MIT and an electrical engineer himself. He is different from that Salman Khan.
Yeah, because it doesn't give the name of the person or any details. So, because that is also, you know, in Bollywood, there is Salman Khan's father who's founded that.
Yes, ma'am. That is why I wrote the founder of Khan Academy in the brackets.
And it further misled.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. I would correct it.
Yes, please. So, tell me about Salman Khan.
Ma'am, the reason why he is my favorite personality is that he has a clear focus on the propagation of the STEM education. Because why? Because what I felt at that time was that, so ma'am, during the my degree program and even afterwards for the preparation of the CSS, there are one finds it very difficult to get access to quality material or quality content that is there on the YouTube or other online media. So, ma'am, he is the person who has made all these relevant, good videos, good content, and that is freely accessible and free for all. So, ma'am, I think he is doing the wonderful job as far as the propagation of good quality knowledge is concerned. So, ma'am, this is the primary reason.
Good quality knowledge in which field?
Ma'am, in STEM science, technology, engineering, mathematics, economy. Ma'am, these are the areas. And ma'am, why is it so that most of the time I could not find good videos or good lectures on the online media? So, ma'am, this is very helpful.
What is his origin?
Ma'am, he belongs to Bangladesh.
And he is based in.
In ma'am, USA, in Massachusetts.
You have done environmental science and you've also done international relations.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell me the latest developments in Ukraine?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the latest development in the Ukraine has been the Russian-Ukraine war. And ma'am, if I talk about the Russian-Ukraine war, recently there was also the bombing of the gas pipelines, and the name of the gas pipeline was Nord Stream 1. And what happened as a result of this explosion was that there was a huge leakage of gas into the oceans, and the war-related hostilities and this damage significantly damaged the marine life. So, ma'am, this is the relation between the IR and the environmental. If I talk about the Russia-Ukraine war presently.
No, I'm asking not linking with environment. I'm linking it with the politics of the region and the new alliances that are coming up.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if I talk about the reasons that why initially the Russia-Ukraine war took place, the first one was that the expanding role of the NATO. When after the disintegration of the USSR in 1991, it was agreed by the NATO members that there would be no further expansion within of the NATO in what was previously perceived as the Russian sphere of influence. But what we saw that there has been a continuous increase in the membership of the NATO countries that are there in the Eastern European region. Ma'am, recently 2 or 3 days ago, Finland also joined NATO. So this is a perennial fear within the Russian society or within the Russian authorities that the expansion of NATO is a major reason. And ma'am, secondly, it is also true that around 15% of the Ukrainian population as a whole is ethnically Russian, and they speak Russian language. So, ma'am, this was the major reason that why there was a greater tilt of Russia on waging a war on Ukraine.
But do you think that the membership of Finland in NATO was because of only this reason, or were there other factors? For example, Turkey's position on Sweden and Finland's membership of NATO. Can you throw some light on that?
Give your career a boost with CSS PMS preparation from Civil Services Preparatory School. Join CSS PMS for on-campus and online classes. Join us for your bright future. Civil Services Preparatory School, Markaz, Islamabad. Register now at 0316 570-1593.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I do not know the Turkey's role and the Finland's membership of NATO. Ma'am, I'm sorry, sir.
Recently, a lot of EU heads of states are visiting China, Beijing. Can you give reasons?
Ma'am, I know the name of the French President Emmanuel Macron who visited Beijing, but ma'am, I'm sorry again, I do not know the reason why he is visiting China.
Thank you so much. Dr. Sam.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, Ans, what is complex interdependence?
Sir, complex interdependence, sir, it is a concept in the IR according to which due to the globalization, the countries, the states within the world are interconnected or interdependent on each other, and due to this interconnectedness or their relations with each other, there is a little probability or possibility of the war that
How
would be
you
there.
see the relevance of complex interdependence in the Russia-Ukraine war?
Sir, the concept of the complex interdependence, if I talk about in relation to the Russian-Ukraine war, does not stand its feet. Why? Because that Ukraine is considered or thought of as the food basket of the entire world. Moreover, it is also the transit place or path from where the gas supplies of Russia pass through, and they are supplied to to West. So I think that this is in the doldrums. This concept is in the doldrums if we apply it to the Russia-Ukraine war, sir.
What do you know about Psychos-Picos Pact?
Sir, I have heard these terms for the first time, sir.
What you know about Jewish diaspora?
So Jewish diaspora refers to the term is the term that refers to the number of the Jewish people that are there outside Israel. So the most important contribution of the Jewish diaspora was the Balfour Declaration, first of all, that was signed in 1916, according to which there was a tacit approval by the British government that there would be an independent state of Israel after the World War I. So, sir, the Jewish diaspora and the concept of Balfour Declaration are very much interlinked and very much relevant.
And with this relevancy, do you think exercise of policy of divide and rule in this region?
Sir, divide and rule, sir, I do not see the possibility of the divide and rule, because why? If I see the content of the Balfour Declaration, it clearly stated that there would be an Israeli state and their political and civil rights would be protected. However, while referring to the Palestinian people, it was only said that their economic rights would be only respected or would be taken care of. So it was a one-sided declaration which tended to create the state of Israel. There was no policy of divide and rule as far as I know.
Okay, answer in 1 or 2 points. Major difference between Nazism and fascism.
So these two are refer to the same term, and I do not know the difference between the two, and I think these are the same terms, sir. The major difference is that Nazism is originated from Germany and fascism originated from Italy. So this is the major difference.
This is the major difference.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, what you see any relevance with the concert of Europe with United Nations organization?
Yes, sir. So there is a direct link or direct relation as far as the contents of these two are concerned, because the concert of Europe talked about the state sovereignty to a certain extent, and this is the bedrock of the United Nations Charter. It also says that, even the Article 2, Sub-Article 3 of the UN Charter says that all the conflicts among the states would be resolved peacefully and no resort would be made to the use of the war, threat of the use of war, or other such means. So, sir, these are the points that have direct bearing or direct link with the concert of Europe, which was similar or has similar meaning or similar implications or similar meaning, sir.
Okay, my last question. Please tell something about the short-term plan envisaged in Cabinet Mission Plan.
Sir, if I talk about the Cabinet Mission Plan, it said that after the war, there would be the Indian Dominion or the Indian subcontinent would be divided into 3 groups, Group A, B, and C. Group A pertained to those regions which were Hindu majority, Group B were the areas which were Muslim majority, and Group C were the areas which are present-day Assam, West Bengal, etc. So this was the major point of Cabinet Mission Plan. Initially, this was accepted by both the Muslim League and the Indian National Congress. Why? The reason why Muslim League accepted it was that there is a possibility that after 10 years, there would be a secession from the Indian Union, and the Group B or the Group C part, for that matter, would combine together and form an independent state of Pakistan for the Muslims. So, sir, this was the major point that was there in the Cabinet Mission Plan, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, let's conclude this formal interview. Let's have an informal discussion.
Sir.
Once you hope to expect that tomorrow level of interview will be a bit different. Okay, you are not competition to youngster के साथ है, but you are sort of a trained, more trained. तो वो तुम्हारा advantage उस वक्त हो सकता है when you are logically more correct. ठीक है ना? Otherwise वो disadvantage भी हो जाता है. So you should be clear about your replies. When I talk, we say about the role of public servant. तुमसे बात की है तो you should be public servant को एक concept को आगे लेके चलो. Don't go for this policy implementation. अभी इस पे छोड़ दो. You are sitting at the ground level, so your approach should be of the public service. ठीक है? तो अपना introduction को थोड़ा सा improve करो. ये तुम्हारा इंट्रोडक्शन इज टू शॉर्ट, इसमें कोई स्टोरी ऑफ स्ट्रगल तुमने नहीं डाली. तो इसको जाओ, राइट वन पेजर फॉर योर सेल्फ, व्हाट इज योर स्ट्रगल इन लाइफ, ठीक है ना। तो उसको थोड़ा सा इस एक टच दो उसमें, यू है बिकॉज यू आर अगेन देयर एंड दैट इज योर कांस्टेंट स्ट्रगल फॉर प्रोग्रेशन, दिस इज हाउ आई इंटरप्रेट इट। तो अब आप वहाँ जाके थोड़ा सा इसको लिखें अपने बारे में कि जी मैं ये हूँ, मैं यूँ हूँ, ये किया है मैंने, ये किया है मैंने, ये किया है मैंने, ये किया है मैं, ये कर रहा हूँ, सोशल सर्विस भी करता हूँ, पब्लिक सर्विस भी करता हूँ। अपना कंसेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग ठीक करो, ठीक है। अच्छा, न्यूज़पेपर पिछले 3 महीने के, 1 महीने, कब है इंटरव्यू?
सभी डेट नहीं आई।
वेरी गुड। तो दिस इज लकी यू आर, देन यू हैव गॉट टाइम। तो तुम अपना जो है ना न्यूज़पेपर तो पिछले 3 महीने का रिव्यू करो, अपडेट करो, तुम्हारे जो है ना टू द पॉइंट बात करो। अब तुम सिविल सर्वेंट हो तो यू लर्न टू से टू द पॉइंट। ऐसी डायरी बनाओ, यहाँ हेडिंग 1 2 3 पॉइंट, तो वो तुम्हारे होने चाहिए कम से कम 100 टॉपिक्स पे विद इन नेक्स्ट 2-3 डेज तुम तैयार करो, ठीक है ना। एंड व्हेन यू स्पीक अबाउट एनर्जी क्राइसिस, व्हेन यू स्पीक अबाउट इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस, तुम हिट करो उस चीज़ को जो कि करंट है, ठीक है। अच्छा, दूसरा ये है कि हाँ, मतलब वो यही है, कंसाइज आंसर दोगे तुम, ठीक है ना। तो ये है, और ऑफ कोर्स नॉलेज तुम्हारा ठीक है लेकिन इम्प्रूव करो, टू द पॉइंट बात करना सीखो।
सर कंसाइज मींस इन पॉइंट्स?
हाँ, पॉइंट वाइज मतलब है कि आप शॉर्ट में अपने आप को एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, 2-3 पॉइंट्स में एक्सप्लेन कर दो। तो तुम्हारा ये है कि यू डोंट हैव, अभी तक तुम्हारी डेट वेट नहीं है, तो यू हैव गॉट टाइम। अपनी सेल्फ असेसमेंट करके मुझे बताओ, वेयर यू विल प्लेस एट 1 से 10 के स्केल में कहाँ रखोगे अपने आप को?
सर 5।
लेकिन यू हैव गॉट द पोटेंशियल। तुम को तैयारी करो, टाइम तुम्हारे पास है, जो मैंने कहा है इसको जो, और फिर यू कम बैक अगेन टू अस। मेरा तुम्हें यही एडवाइस है। अभी हमारी वो एक बच्ची है जिसने टॉप किया पंजाब में, वो 4 दफ़ा आ चुकी है हम पे। तो दिस इज हाउ यू विल लर्न मोर, प्लीज।
नॉलेज गैप है बाकी। ये जो आपका ऑक्यूपेशनल ग्रुप्स है, इसके बारे में पता होना चाहिए आपको, यू शुड नो। जैसे मैंने पुलिस के बारे में पूछा, तो पुलिस ऑर्डर क्या है, ये वो पुलिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को आप कैसे एक्सप्लेन करेंगे टू, if someone asks you क्या what can you tell us about the police organization of Pakistan, तो आपको फिर पता होना चाहिए क्या है, किस तरह से। तो इस पर भी तवज्जो दें, ये इनको आप निगलेक्ट ना करें। फॉरेन सर्विस है, PSP हो, इनकी बेसिक जो चीज़ें हैं, जो कम से कम जो आपको, जैसे पुलिस ऑर्डर 2002 है, उसके बारे में जो है यू शुड नो एटलीस्ट उसके 2-4 अच्छे जो पॉइंट्स हैं, उसकी जो फीचर्स हैं, उसके बारे में आपको पता होना चाहिए, ठीक है। चलो, ओके।
And that's Tariq. You have a pleasant personality. You have a good experience in the government, so you carry yourself well. That's a plus point for you. As far as I'm concerned, you're fine, except for बालों को थोड़ा सेट कर लेना जब जाओ बेटा। जैसे उन्होंने बताया, बाकी पॉइंट्स डू कीप इन माइंड। Basically, Anas, this form that you fill is your advantage or your disadvantage. What you write in it, if you are not, with full grip on what you have written, it will be disadvantage. If you work on the information you have given them, then it becomes your advantage.
Yes, ma'am.
Favorite personalities. Favorite personality, I would recommend that put in someone who's internationally known.
Right, ma'am.
And a neutral personality.
Right.
ठीक है? This was misleading.
Yes, ma'am.
Basically, we ask about favorite personality to understand you, why you like that person. So if that person's achievements are not well known to the panel, then you are at a disadvantage.
Yes,
so choose a personality that is well known, neutral, and that also you can relate to. so that you can say, this is the reason why I like this person.
Then, for instance,
That's up to you, beta. I will not say.
yes, ma'am.
But don't make him your father or your brother because they are not known to anyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Even if they are, they'll be known to few people, not,
Yes, ma'am.
And also, don't, if you put Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then you're basically putting yourself in a difficult situation because so many questions will come up that you may not be in a position to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
So choose a more well-known, neutral, international personality, right? So that on the night of the exam, you don't have to go through all the papers. You just go through your diary and all your points will help you revisit. क्योंकि आपने पढ़ा हुआ होगा, जब आप रात को देखेंगे तो रिफ्रेश हो जाएंगे, ठीक है? तो वो आपकी एक हैंडबुक जो है ना, that will be very useful to you in preparation of your interview. Otherwise, mashallah, you're a smart boy, you have good potential, just put in a bit of effort. Thank you.
Well, and to answer well, but आपके आंसर जो थे बहुत लेंथी थे, आर्टिकुलेट फॉर्म में नहीं थे. तो चंद एक क्वेश्चन, एक मैडम ने आपसे क्वेश्चन जो शुरू में किया था वो मैडम रिलेट नहीं करवाना चाह रही थी इन्वायरमेंटल साइंस को आईआर को, बट आपका आंसर तो वो ठीक था, लेकिन वो क्वेश्चन पूछा ही नहीं गया था आपसे, आपने ठीक से सुना ही नहीं वो क्वेश्चन. थोड़ा सा ये चीज़ देखिए, जैसा कि मैंने आपसे पूछा था कि डिवाइड एंड रूल, तो वो तो बहुत रेलिवेंट बनती है इन पैलेस्टीन इशू में.
सर,
ठीक है, ज्यूज के साथ भी वादा था और उनके साथ भी वादा था. सो दैट इज वाई आज साइकोस्पीकोस्पेक्ट पे आपसे मैंने पूछा था. ठीक है, तो उन चीज़ों को थोड़ा सा आंसर, आपके आंसर्स थोड़े से लेंथी थे, ठीक थे आपके आंसर्स, ज़्यादा लेंथी आप कर जाते हैं उसको. आर्टिकुलेट ज़्यादा जब पढ़ेंगे तो 2-3 पॉइंट्स में आप दें, इंटरव्यू आपका ज़्यादा अच्छा हो जाएगा. ठीक, थैंक यू.
You do your homework and come back to us again.
Right, sir, inshallah.
ठीक है ना?
Sir.
तो तुम्हें थोड़ी सी ग्रूमिंग हो जाएगी मजीद, तो then you will be focused.
Sir.
चलो, best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.